Think of a time in your life when things are so very bleak that you really feel there is no way to overcome it. One negative thought gives birth to 100 other negative thoughts. Remember those days? Colonel Dharamdatt Goel had just such a situation. He was in a remote part of the Indian border and he stepped on an improvised explosive device. Colonel Goel shares a story of self-belief, perseverance, and incredible courage in the face of what became a life-changing experience. This is the first episode of our new season of Stories Seldom Told, and I am Smitha Tharoor. Hello everyone. I'd like to introduce Colonel Dharamdatt Goel. Colonel Dharamdatt Goel is a battle casualty and war-wounded veteran of the Indian Army, a motivational speaker, author, and soft skills trainer. Colonel Goel is a PhD in psychology and a master's in personnel management. He comes from Mumbai, and when he was in Mumbai before he joined the army, he taught at Mumbai University and at SNDT University. With over 2 decades of military service, Colonel Goel overcame life-changing injuries with remarkable grit. Post-injury, he has taken part in paragliding, marathons, long-distance swimming, skiing, and more, earning a place in the Limca Book of Records, which is the equivalent of the Indian Guinness Book of Records. And he also got a commendation from the Chief of the Army Staff in India. He's also a writer, if that's not enough, and his best-selling book, When People Doubted My Ability to Walk, I Decided to Fly, was released by General Bipin Rawat and has been translated into multiple Indian languages, including Hindi, Marathi, Gujarati, and far more importantly, Braille. One of these books was presented to the President of India. Today, Colonel Goel inspires audiences across India with his powerful story of courage, resilience, and never giving up. But for me, this was a far different conversation that I wanted to have because it wasn't just about that accident. And the way I knew Colonel Goel, or DD as I call him, was entirely by chance. So I was in India in a lovely place called Lonavala, which is not far from Bombay. And entirely coincidentally, who was then Colonel Goel and then ended up becoming DD to me, we shared a long car journey that took 40 minutes from where we were to another direction, and then entirely coincidentally, a 40-minute journey back. We didn't stop talking. Do you remember that, Didi? We didn't
Yes,
stop
very much.
talking for the entire 40 minutes. You
Yes.
shared so many stories. Certainly, you shared the story of your grit and courage, and you told me the story of your book. But there were so many stories. So, as you know, I host a podcast called Stories Seldom Told. And what I want to know from you, Didi, are those stories seldom told. So I'm going to just give you the floor, and I'd like you to share one of those many, many stories that you shared with me.
Thank you, Smita. Thank you for having me here. It's such a wonderful feeling to meet you after a long time. As you said, so let's see where we go. So I'd like to start with my days of when I got commissioned in the Indian Army. We go through a lot of training, lot of things, and after that, I was posted to one of the sensitive areas that is near to the borders. And those days was such that we were given a task of capturing one of the posts across the line of control. So our battalion did that, and after having done that mission, we all were sent as a reward for 20 days leave. So after 20 days leave, I was sent to a new location, and of course, that new location where we were unfamiliar with. As a young officer, when we go to any unknown or unfamiliar place, you're supposed to get acclimatized, you're supposed to know about the terrain. But without getting much time, another, I think, 2, 3, 4 days later, I got a call from my immediate boss, or in the military language, we call him as an adjutant, who takes care of all the daily routine and everything about the battalion. So he told me, DD, there is some infiltration which has taken place and you need to go. The second task that was given to me was, wherever you find suitable, you can make a post over there. This call came somewhere at 2000 hours in the evening, that is 8 p.m. And by midnight, I gathered my men. I told them to take some rest, and we have a long day to go. So at around 4 o'clock in the morning, we did our regimental prayers. In the army, we say the religion of the troops is your religion. So I was part of the Sikh regiment, and Ardas is a regimental prayer, which gives us a lot of power and motivation in whatever mission we go. We
I'd
do
like you to
that.
pause that because I want you to explain what the Sikh regiment means. There are many people in many parts of the world who doesn't even know what Sikh means, and I don't want to make an assumption on that.
In Indian Army, we have different regiments. It comprises of various regiments like the Rajputana, the Sikh, the Mahar, the Maratha. So it is based on different caste and creed of our Indian culture. Whereas as an officer, we are randomly sent to any of the battalion. So Sikh regiment has various different units, and we number them. We number them as to one, two, three, four, five, and depending on the seniority when it was formed. So I was in one of the
And so
Sikh
the
regiment.
Sikh people, the Sikh, Sikh, the Sikh people
Yes,
that you are referring to are the people of Punjab,
yes,
turbans, and
absolutely,
practice certain aspect of their religion that is
absolutely,
different
yes,
to anybody
yes,
else in India.
absolutely,
Yeah.
Smita. So they wear turbans and they are supposed to be the martial race. They are bravest of all as considered. And of course, most of the regiments are supposed to be like that. So early morning, we did our regimental prayers and we marched off. We took off from there. It was a high altitude area, so we walked for good about 11 kilometers and we reached at the height of 13,500 feet above the sea level. Reaching at that point, we almost walked for, say, for some distance, and we saw a narrow path which was about almost 2.5 kilometer at the top of the ridge line. Now that path was so narrow, the track, rather I would call it as a track, it was so narrow that we had to use all our hands and all the limbs to walk and cross that, and it was so slippery that had you slipped this side, you would end up falling to the Pakistani side, and if you slip this side, you would end up falling in Indian Valley. We crawled that path, and we had a load of 17 and a half kg at our back, balancing those things. We cross because in the army it's a mission. It's more like being a team player. We carry our team together. So, and I was leading it as a young officer. So when I reached a point, I saw a toffee wrapper which had some Urdu print ingrained on that, which I knew that this is not from this region. It has to come from some unfamiliar place. Having stayed there, of course, I told my men that this is the place where infiltration has taken place, and let me just see around. So I took a call that I will make a new post over there. That was at 13,500
And that's
feet.
because of one toffee wrapper
One toffee wrapper, and of
was
course, ma'am,
written that you
you
felt
see,
was from Pakistan rather than from
of
India.
course, and you see some other things, ma'am. Like there's a broken patch in the fields, or there is some or the other mark which is very distinct. So that gave me that motivation that yes, I will make the post over here. So I got the magnetic compass out from my uniform. I was very close to that height which was at the top, but being very closer to that height, you won't get that exact reading what you are looking for. I had no other place also to move around because we were in a very restricted kind of area to move. But the only area which I was able to see or which was visible to me was that side of the line of control, that was in Pakistani side. So I took a call. I told my men. Of course, it took few moments for me to understand what is the risk and pros and cons. So I did not want to risk the lives of my men. So I told them that I'm going that side and nobody to follow me. After that, I moved. I crossed the line of control, and I moved good about 400 to 500 meters approximately. When I moved there, I could see the Pakistani post. It was visible to me, and probably I might have been visible to them also. Of course, my objective was to get the magnetic compass out, see through that aperture and take the reading and note it down and come back. But I saw a pit which had, ashes laid around, and then I suspected that might be they might have, spent the night over here. The moment I saw that, after inspecting that pit, I came onto the track. The moment I came onto the track, I heard a large, huge, deafening sound, a blast. It was like boom. My first reaction as a team leader, as an army officer, which is ingrained in our training, through our training in our mind, is take cover, we are under fire. So what I am narrating to you in seconds, there it was fraction of seconds, or rather milliseconds.
Split second, yeah, literally a millisecond, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
take cover, we are under fire, all those things. And while giving that command, I looked back and I saw my men were looking aghast at me. In my mind, I was thinking, why the hell they are not reacting? Then second moment I fell down, and next moment I realized that something flew in front of me, which was like a stone. But then again, next millisecond or next moment, I realized that it was not a stone, it was my own leg, which blew in front of my eyes, and I fell down. As a reaction, when you go through some casualty or trauma, you happen to yell. That is the psychosomatic reaction, that you go through some pain and you happen to somehow. I realized I was trying to gather things around the flesh pieces of my leg, which was blown off. It was all over my uniform. My face was blackened. I could not hear anything. But then I gathered some strength where I could at least yell or shout to the best of my voice. So I shouted, nobody to come this side. We are trapped in the IED. IED is improvised explosive device, which is made. Seeing this, my second in command, that is my 2IC, he was a sergeant, he was a tall, sick gentleman. He realized that I was lying down there and he came rushing to me. Now, as a young officer, going through, learning through all the army ethos, the second in command, your sergeant, comes running to you despite your orders. So I shouted, whatever slang I could use on him. I told, I will make sure that you are court martial for disobedience of orders.
Oh my.
So there also, those things were going on in my
You're
head.
still in that mode of being in
Yes,
charge of your team.
yes. So, and
How old are
in
you at this point, if I may ask, DD?
Smita, that time I was 25, around 25 years.
I think it's important for us to know that.
Yes, I was, I think, 25 years and 3 months older. So this gentleman had the courage of conviction, and he had 15 years of experience that time. So he tells me very calmly, sir, I'm ready to go home. You can court martial me. But at no cost, I will leave you here. I cannot leave you. The values what we are taught here is not to leave you last man behind, whether dead or alive, whether injured. Probably here it was the other way. Here the team leader was injured and he made sure that he will not leave me back there to die. So he carried me. That was a fireman lift. He carried me on his shoulder. And the most honorable thing, Sikh gentlemen, those who wear turbans in India, their turbans are supposed to be very sacred. So he removed his turban without even blinking his eyes. He removed it and he could take hold of my leg, which was already gone. He could not understand what to do of that. But in whatever manner he could do, he just wrapped it around, tied it, and made sure that nothing falls apart.
Yeah. To stop the continuous bleeding.
Yes,
Kind
and
of,
not only continuous bleeding, since the flesh was all stuck around, some or the other part was falling down. So to make sure nothing falls around and here and there, so he secured it. And thereafter, I was on his shoulder. So he came back almost 400 meters. He ran this side, because you never know when the enemy gets charged up or when they react or retaliate. As such, there was already a mission where we had captured Pakistani post that side. So as we came to our side, he started walking from the same track, and before he could start, I realized that he was clueless. I said, listen, what has happened to me has happened. You guys, you have your family back out there, but the track from where we have come, if you slip that side, you all will be gone, and I don't want to risk your lives. Then he asked me, sir, what to do? I said, wait, I know a place we can call for the helicopter. So we walked the other side. That is, we had come, say, from place A to place B. We moved further to place C, and we walked about 2.5 hours. And I was on his shoulder throughout. And with that energy and exuberance that our sir, our sahab, or our officer should not be unconscious. So he kept on motivating me that, sir, don't go. And I was like, don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. You guys are my responsibility. So we reached a place which was a plateau kind of terrain. We called out for the helicopter. The helicopter came within, say, half an hour. So this happened at 1:30 in the afternoon. And whatever happened by the time we reached that plateau was 4:30 in the afternoon, that is 16:30 hours. The helicopter came by 1700 hours. I was quite happy. Another hour I'll be relieved of this pain, because there was no painkiller. I was without any painkiller, and I was just yelling. So the chopper came, it was midair. They threw the toggle rope below. I was tied up and about to be lifted, but it started snowing so heavily that the chopper was wobbling. It started moving in a haywire manner. Then I was released very slowly. I was kept back again, and the helicopter went back in front of me. I witnessed that it was uncontrollable. However, the pilot took it back to the base, and the message given was wait for the weather to clear. Having stayed there, I knew the weather will not clear. At least for today night, it will not be clear. So after about an hour, say at around 1800 hours, 6 p.m., I took a call, because I knew again, if the enemy found out that there is entire section, 11 men there out there in that bowl kind of terrain, one coordinated fire could have wiped us out.
11, yeah.
We made a few twigs, few branches. We made a torch out of that. We started walking, and I was, of course, on their shoulder. The route from which we had come was on the ridge line, but the route we were going back was at the foothill, and it was new to us. The route was covered by the snow, and every step, every 10th or 11th step we walked, my men, they fell down, they slipped, and I fell down on my same injury many times. 12 o'clock, we reached the nearest road head. The ambulance was there standing, and I reached to my medical base by, say, 3 in the morning. And as I reached there, by the time I had made up my mind that I am going to live, no full stop, no comma, no grammar, no meaning, no adjectives. What will happen, what will not happen, I was not going through all those thought process. So I just had told to my mind, I am going to live. I told my nursing assistant, again, he was a sergeant. I told him that don't let me sleep. If you have to slap me, you can slap me. So he engaged me with all kind of stories about my childhood thing, my everything about how I got commissioned in the Indian Army. And it was, say, by the time it was morning 9:30, the weather cleared, the chopper was ready. By 11, I was put in the chopper. By 12:30, I reached the hospital. I must tell you, Smita, one thing is, for 23 hours I was without a painkiller, because when I reached the medical base, the winter stocking got stuck because of the snow. So I was left only with IV drips, where I was vomiting throughout the morning, and my uniform was drenched with vomit. And of course, now when I reached 12:30 in the afternoon, the last line which I told to the medical surgeon was, sir, don't ampute much, I want to play basketball with my son. And after that, I conked off. I was unconscious. The surgery went on for 11 hours. And thereafter, he was standing next to me, and he said, Kisan, I could not compensate, but I hope I could do something. Thereafter, of course, I promised to myself, I promised that officer that, sir, hereafter I'll not look back. And actually, I have never looked back.
Didi, hearing your story, and here are all my listeners, listening to your story of incredible courage and resilience. Um, I was transported to that afternoon in the border of India and Pakistan. I
Oh,
don't know where it was. I was there in my
okay,
head,
okay.
visualizing where you were. I was visualizing this little path with 75
Yes,
kilos of weight that you are having on your back and you're walking.
yes,
But then you said something, those things, we can be transported because you were explaining to us where you were, and because it was daytime, you were able to see clearly. You went forward, 400 meters into Pakistani territory, and of course you stepped in an IED, and we know what happened. But you also went for 23 hours. I mean, I without painkillers. That's number one. But more importantly, I want to go back a little bit more. That accident happened. You're lying over there. You're trying to be
Yes.
in charge. You are the colonel. You are going to tell your team, don't come anywhere near. You, did you, first question to you, when you saw that something flying in front of you,
Yes.
is it with the benefit of hindsight, or did you know immediately that is your leg?
It took milliseconds for me to realize. Suddenly, there were ripples in my body, which I realized that there's something which is very painful. I could not understand what the pain was, but next moment when I saw, say, it is just a reflex action or your body reacting, I looked down and I saw there was nothing
There
below
was
my knee.
nothing. Right. From
And
where?
then I realized this was the
Your knee
pain which
below?
was,
Is it your knee below that was flown off?
it was knee below which was blown off. And when I saw, then I realized what was bothering me, what that agony was, why I was yelling.
So,
That
so so you're talking about from when you heard the bomb blast, the IED explosion, to knowing that you had lost a leg is what? You're talking about a minute?
uh, yes, around a minute or so, maybe a
What was your
lesser.
thought then?
Yes, I was filled with lot of anger.
Anger
Uh,
was your first emotion.
yes,
That's
not
interesting.
frustration, anger.
That's interesting. So you are looking, you've lost a leg, and you are
Yes,
angry. You're very angry. You're not frustrated.
yes,
You're angry. You're not
yes.
scared, but you're not
No,
scared.
no,
You're not
it was
upset.
anger.
You're not
I was
saying,
not up.
you're not saying, oh my God, I've lost my leg. What am I going to do? No.
No, no, no.
Anger. Can you tell me
Yes,
what does the anger look like?
yes, yes. See, when I wore the uniform, I knew very well what the risk was. We faced lot many artillery fire. You can ask anybody who wears or dons the uniform. When the bullets fly over your head or next to your ears, you actually get to know what life is all about. So I had already gone through those situations where you are standing here, the artillery rounds which are flying over your head because the trajectory is not right. So it's falling, say, at a particular angle which is going above our head but not falling on us. So that also we are able to see because of the sound that, okay, here comes the round. Now, those things I was aware, and the anger, this particular emotion rose in my through my mind was that why so early?
What,
Why so early?
why, what so early? What does that
This
mean? Why so
casualty,
early?
this,
As in, I'm going to ask a more clearer question.
yes,
When you said to yourself, why so early? You were saying, why am I injured at such an early stage of my career within the army?
yes,
That was your question, and that's why you're
yes,
so
yes,
angry?
absolutely, Smita, yes. That why so early I am injured, I will be bound or restricted to a wheelchair or something of that sort.
You thought that too.
Yes, yes, yes. So now I'll be now that may not be the right thought, but some things come from your subconscious mind. Like now
Absolutely.
I will be a disabled guy. For me, it was impossible to get a new leg growing from that part. So it was easily understood that yes, I won't be able to walk.
But
But why
then you
so?
said something else, Didi. So we've heard your story of incredible resilience. The idea, I mean, nobody will know unless there is a listener amongst us who has genuinely lost a limb through an accident. It doesn't have to be a IED
Yes,
during that kind of situation. They could have had an accident and lost a limb, um, and they may appreciate the level of pain that you went through. I can't. I don't know what that feels like because I have thank the Lord's, I have not had that experience of such extreme pain where one part of my body has left me forever. So I don't know what that pain feels like, but you have that pain. You are, you see, and I'm so you're angry. You are then taken by this wonderful Sikh sergeant on his back. You're taken to a slightly safer space than where you were.
Yes.
And you think, fantastic, I can see the helicopter, it is coming. I can
Yes.
be there. So now from anger, your anger has moved to hope,
Yes. So from anger now it has moved to hope of success.
but then the helicopter leaves.
Yes.
It is so close to you,
Yes.
you can almost feel it,
Yes.
gone again. What
Yes.
are your emotions at that time?
Okay. Very well asked. Lovely questions, Veda. So that time, of course, first my own reaction, my pain aggravated.
Ah,
Aggravated because, yes, aggravated because at one point of time I was angry why this happened. I was actually thumping on the ground, that yelling and thumping, that why this happened. Second moment, I was silent because the Sikh gentleman came. I was on his shoulder. So I got enough time. Of course, pain was there, but I got enough time. My mind was running left, right, enemy fire. You are at a high altitude area. It might snow anytime. All those things. But the after the pain aggravated, then again I had to come back to my. Rather, it was a deliberate effort to come back to my senses that I am not alone. I am not alone. I have my men over here, my team, and I can't risk them. I started applying my mind that whether to stay back or not to, because the orders from my commanding officer was very clear: be there, wait for the weather to clear. But at times, as a young officer, you have a certain liberty, take a command decision, seeing the seriousness of the situation. So I took that call. I took that liberty rather, and I was told also by one of my men that, sir, but the commanding officer has said this. So I shouted. Of course, I was in that pain. I shouted, "Here, I am the commanding officer, and you better listen to me."
oh my, right.
And yes,
But
so
no,
and that,
let's take you back to lying on
yes,
that ground. I'm sorry to send you back to that level of trauma, but
no,
I
no,
want
it's
you to visualize you lying on that ground and you're in a lot of pain. And now the helicopter is coming. They're sending down the thing for you to be hitched up into it. And then they don't. They leave. What are you thinking?
I was lost that time because it was about to snow. It started snowing heavily. What I could think that time was that why is he going back? I mean, this was just matter of few seconds or maybe 30 seconds extra.
Take me, please, and then go is what you.
Yes, something like that. My
I mean,
heart
that
was,
word you used just now, Didi, lost. That's a very
yes,
powerful word. I was
yes,
lost.
yes,
It means a lot
yes,
of things to me when I'm hearing that.
yes. Because you go through a lot of different emotions in one moment. You go through suddenly sadness, anger, many things. Of course, that time it was more of anger, more of hope of success, and more of carrying your team members along with me. Today I realize, rather after few days when I was in the hospital, then I asked my men to recreate the scene what happened. So I was told that the pilot, again a very brave officer, they are not supposed to enter the 5 kilometer radius where the enemy post is there. 5 kilometer.
And you were
I
very
was
much within
bang within five. Five is very far. I was very much at
in
zero
the middle.
kilometer.
You were right in the middle.
Yes. So he came very near, risking his own life, almost going over the SOPs or rules to save other officer's life. Again, this what I just mentioned, not to leave your last man behind. But here, saving my own life, there were two officers sitting in the helicopter, and it was a wise call which they took. And of course, later on, all this mist was cleared that why this happened. But then, whatever happens, happens for the good. This journey actually taught me a lot about life.
But there's
This journey,
something else. There's something else. Sorry to interrupt, Didi, because I'm sure this journey has taught you many, many, many things about life. But you said something else to me, and the point that you made was that you're finally 23 hours later you are with your doctor. Firstly, what we do not know, and I would like for you to tell all of us, the listeners and me, you already had a child at the age of 25.
yes, yes, yes. I was
I
married, and
was okay. You were married with one child, two children. Tell us your
yes, one child.
family
Yes, I had
situation.
a son.
And how
Yes.
old was your son at this point?
He was one. 1 year, about to be 1 year,
Oh,
one
few
and a
months,
half.
just a
Yes,
little baby.
yes, yes.
So you
He
were a
was a
new
toddler.
father. You were a new
Yes,
father, less than a
yes,
year that you were a
yes,
father,
yes,
and you have a lovely wife, and you have this little beautiful baby,
yes,
and you are there in the hospital, and clearly that little one, he hasn't even learned to walk yet. But you
yes,
say to the doctor, "I want to play, I,
yeah.
I want to play basketball.
Because during
I
that
want to
journey,
play."
lovely. Good, Smith. I like it because you're actually able to even relate all those things, and even I did not think that way.
The child can't walk unless he was very early walking.
Yes.
Unless he
So how
walked is
come?
7, 8 months, the fellow is not even
Yes,
walking yet. But
yes,
you have already planned playing basketball with
yes,
your future self and
yes,
your young son.
yes. See, here I started visualizing. Yes.
But see,
So,
but there's something else, which was you said, and maybe I'm not using the words that you used, but you said to me, or you said to the listeners, that I had decided I was going to live. It's not
yes,
negotiable. Now, when specifically did you say that to yourself for the first time in this entire story?
yes. So when I came this side,
When you
and
were back in
again,
India,
yeah, to our
you had
Indian
not
side.
you had not got onto the ambulance. You had not gone to nothing.
No, no, it's a thankless terrain. It's a white desert, thankless terrain. You really need to work hard to survive. You need to keep commanding your brain. So by the time I came this side, I got ample of time. I was lying on his shoulder. When he was continuously walking, I could see myself, the terrain, the path he was treading, path he was walking. And that time the thought process started. I acknowledged it that now it is gone. This is something which I accepted it within, say, a few minutes. I accepted it. It is gone. And I can't cry over the situation or the gone thing or the spilled milk.
That is
So,
very interesting, Didi, because when trauma happens to us, catastrophic, life-changing trauma will happen to many of us who
yes,
are listening to you today. The idea of actually accepting it, and you're talking, most people, even I'm going to give you a very completely different example, which is very simple, which was the loss of my father. He died. He died very young. He was only 63 years old. He died 30 years ago.
oh, yes,
And now I know he is dead because I saw his body. So, of course, I know that he has died. I've seen it. I attended the cremation. Of course, I know he has died. Am I able to accept that he has died?
yeah, at times it happens that you're not able to take that.
I was not able to accept that he
Yes,
died for a very long time. I would say it took me about a year for me to accept within myself that he's actually gone. Even though if you have even little bit of brain, you know that he's gone. You were there.
yes,
You know that he's gone. And
yes,
so it isn't about knowing because you knew that you had lost your leg. You saw
yes,
it. You can see
yes,
half your leg not there
yes,
when you're lying on the Sikh sergeant's
yes,
shoulders.
shoulder,
You
yes,
turn around and you look. You can see it's not there.
yes,
But
yes.
this idea of acceptance. So where does that come from? Tell me about that, Didi.
That time I honestly did not know why it is coming, but I realized sometimes it is inbuilt in your brain, in your mind, when you go through different experiences of life. I did not tell you, but before joining the forces I ran my own small eating joint, a restaurant, where of course that was more of a rebel DD, where the parents refused to give pocket money, and I said okay.
So what? You were like 17, 18 years old, is it, at that point?
Yes, somewhere like 18, almost 18. So I said, okay, I don't need money, any money from you.
I'll show you.
Yeah, I'll show you. Yeah. So those things actually gave me great exposure. You are having a eating house somewhere near at the highway where a lot of various kinds of people come, truck drivers, laborers, uh, families. So those things taught me a lot. I was the dishwasher, I was the waiter, I was the cook, I was the cashier. I had 4 or 5 men, 4 or 5 boys of same age. So I had taken them along with me from Mumbai. I said, you come, we'll earn some money, and I'll give you good money, good payment, good salary. So for 1.5 year I did that, and after that, then when I was fed up, I decided to go back and join my studies again. So all those things actually made me, much before joining the army, I would say, battle hardened soldier.
How interesting is that? Because
So,
I feel I feel quite strongly that when we think about I think it might have been Aristotle who said we are the sum of our parts. I'm slightly paraphrasing, but we are the sum of our parts. And
yes,
what I'm saying by that is the idea of your life experiences. Now, if your parents had said, let's say you went to mommy, daddy and said, I want to buy I don't know, whatever the
yes,
fashion was at
yes,
that age,
yes,
I
yes,
want to buy myself a cassette record player or whatever you
yes,
wanted.
yes,
And they say, okay, beta, here you are, son. Here's the cash, go and buy it. You would have
yes,
been a different young man. Instead, your parents said, no, what is this?
yes,
Why are you asking for these things? You better earn your own money.
yes,
Learn to, you are now 17 years old, 16 years old,
yes,
the age you are.
yes,
And if your parents hadn't said that, you would have gone down a different path.
yes, definitely, yes. You're
Fascinating.
absolutely right.
Fascinating.
So you're
So,
right, Smita.
so it is really very much about the sum of our parts.
Yes,
But share another story. So, rather than focusing just on the accident, I want the listeners to know a little bit more about you. So we know that you've had this very traumatic, life-changing injury. We know that you lost a limb from the knee below, and we know that despite the incredible level of pain, for me, what I heard you saying just now, two things that I learned from you just now was one, that despite the unbelievable level of pain, you accepted. And to me, that is a very profound, powerful thing that I want the listeners to understand. And two, along with that acceptance, you told yourself it's non negotiable. I'm going to live.
yes,
And then, if you like, alongside that, you had already planned playing basketball with your then
yes,
7 or 8 or 9 month baby.
yes,
Because that's
yes.
connected.
Actually,
Because that
what
is
you
connected.
mentioned, yes, I never thought that way, Smita, what you just told. That was instantly, in that moment, it instantly came out from my
Because that's
mouth
about the future, isn't it?
about the future, of course.
It is about the
So,
future. I mean, if
yes,
you had a
again,
10-year-old son, and I
yes,
want to play basketball, I understand that. And maybe
yes,
you had
yes,
begun to learn to play basketball, teach him.
yes,
Maybe you
yes,
had a little basketball, thing to hoop in your
yes,
back garden. I don't
in
know
your back,
that.
yes,
Then that would make sense.
yes,
But the fact that you said what you did when you have a baby who hasn't learned to walk yet,
yes,
it shows us that you're already planning the future. And so it
yes,
is telling us that you will live.
yes. This attitude or this attribute of my behavior, it helped me to further move from my injury. I started visualizing things what I wanted to do.
Okay, so
Staying
explain,
back,
tell us the story. Yeah.
yes,
Share a story with us so we understand it.
yes. So lying down there at the hospital bed for 3 months, where you wait for the edema to reduce, the swelling to reduce, and then only you would get a fresh limb, and then you can start walking. So, of course, those days were not easy. Nobody of us are used to the crutches, falling down every second, every minute, going to the washroom, restroom. And it was a challenge within own self. And then, of course, thinking, so I started visualizing that I want to do something. I want to do something adventurous. I want to challenge my own self. I started knowing about myself, what I am, what kind of person I am. Where do I get annoyed? When do I get irritated? When am I happy? So I started going back in the timeline and understanding my own life.
How far back?
So maybe class 5, class 6.
Class 5, class 6, you're talking 10, 11 years old.
Yes, 10, 11
But here's
years.
another question because I want to bring that clarity in terms of facts. When did you do your PhD in psychology? You have not done it at this point.
No, I completed it in 2020.
And which year was your accident?
Of course, it was way back in
No,
2002, October.
that's my point. I need we need facts here. So
Yes.
it's it because I don't want people to assume. Obviously, Didi was able to do that. He had already done a PhD in psychology. He knows about these things.
Okay. Yes, I get that. Why you asked?
You
Yes.
have not done a PhD. You are
Yes.
a 25-year-old young father.
Yes.
You are in a lot of pain and suffering. You have clearly got a lot of resilience. You are lying in a hospital bed for 3 months. It's only
Yes.
18 years later that you
Yes.
choose to study and do a PhD.
Yes. Yes. I
You
wanted to
haven't
go ahead.
you
Yes.
haven't got that learning at this point.
No.
So what you're doing is instinctive. And
Yes.
you go back to the age of 8 or 9 or 10 or 11. And what are you visualizing? Tell us about that.
So I visualize where I was not so strong, where I was strong, where I was determined, where my friends bullied me when I got an ad. So I visualize everything what I could think of. When I became, say, a teenager, I was a little bit of rebel. Any teenager goes through that stage. So that knowing myself gave me automatically, it was just a natural way that I got a smile that time when I thought, oh, I was like this, oh, I was like this. And that thing again gave the level of hope of success rose. And I was like, I'll definitely
But
walk.
Didi, I find that difficult that you smiled. I want us to understand that because let's visualize, any one of us listening to you right now who goes back to the age of 10, 11. They're in school and they are very badly bullied by
Yes,
another child, very
yes,
badly bullied, physically and verbally.
yes,
But if it were me and I had been bullied age 10, if I am visualizing that, I'm certainly not smiling. I don't want
yes,
to smile. I'm thinking about it. I am upset. I am angry. And most importantly, I am feeling sorry for myself.
yes,
I am feeling very sorry for myself that I was the victim, that
yes.
someone, I'm only 10, I'm only 10, 11 years old, and I
Yes,
was a victim. How
yes,
is it that you were able to smile instead of feeling like a victim?
yes. Absolutely lovely question, Smita. So I was not holding on to that, what happened to me. It is something I did not want to engage that thought process because I would say one thought gives birth to 100 other thoughts,
Absolutely.
100 other negative thoughts, one negative thought.
Ah, okay.
So,
Continue.
so
Yes.
then it becomes a vicious circle, and it's like a spiral which keeps pulling you down.
Yes.
I was very clear in my thought process, and as I told, the military training and service before self, lot many things. Your men are there. You have so many things you have gone through. So I was very clear. I need not stay in that thought process where I was a victim. I was bullied. So I was going through the journey of how I rose to the level of making my own physique, hitting the gym after being bullied by many people and after
Were you
being
were you
naming.
scrawny when you were age 10?
Yes,
Age
yes,
10 and scrawny?
yes, very much.
Ah, okay.
My height was very short, and people, my friends
I
used
have
to.
met you, Didi. You're not short. So
I was,
you were late puberty. You grew taller late.
yes, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So when I hit the gym, and then of course that journey was not just remaining at that part that I'm being bullied, but in my thought process, I'm moving from that stage and then hitting the gym and then going all out in public, talking to people openly, making myself, training myself to be extrovert. I was more of introvert kind of person. When I thought all those things, and second part was I've already acknowledged that my leg is gone. Now next, what I have to find a contingency, a different way. I may not be having my leg grown. So connecting to myself that I was such kind of a person who never gave up. Why am I thinking it right now?
Ah.
So these
So,
things connected.
okay. So what you're saying to me is when you went back and you started visualizing,
Yes,
you visualized sad, like the bullying story, sad, challenging, traumatic. And that was
yes,
also trauma. For a
yes,
little 10-year-old
yes, yes.
little boy, it was
No doubt.
trauma. But you
Yes.
were visualizing all these different stories. And then what are you saying to me? That from those various different stories, you tried to focus on the ones that you knew you had been good.
Yes. So I collected all my strength and my positive qualities from that journey, and I wanted to utilize it in for my future.
But so, I mean, I'm visualizing you lying there in bed, still in pain, I'm sure.
Yes, yes.
Perhaps not the pain that happened at the time of the injury, but you
No,
were.
I was shouted by my medical surgeon, because I got addicted to there's an injection called as Evil. I think it's a very strong painkiller, but it's more like a psychotropic medicine.
And you said, I
I
want it.
No, I used to shout at my sergeant, "Go get that medicine for me. I'm in pain. I'm in terrible pain." Actually, I was in terrible pain, and this
Of course you were.
colonel colonel had to come and literally shout at me like a recruit, and he used again all kind of all kind of blessings. He said, "You bloody behave yourself,"
And you're
and
not
then
going
he
to
said,
get this medicine all the time.
control for at least 3 4 days, son. Then of course when he left, he told me, you need to control. And again, my 4 days, it was as if somebody is chopping your leg very slowly. That level was there of pain for 4 days, and thereafter it started reducing. Then I came to terms, and I was on normal painkillers, very normal. I was on tablets. But then this thought process helped me. Of course, a few of my soldiers who were there next to my bed, for some the conditions were worse than me. So all those things, when you actually speak to somebody giving them hope, the hope for self also increases.
Ah, so you were
So
also talking to other patients
yes, yes,
who were
yes,
in the bed, in the ward with.
yes. They were severely injured than me, paralyzed for lifetime, wheelchair bound for lifetime, not able to speak, bullets pass through the throat, not able to even express. So some things like that. So I always used to talk that everything will be fine, don't worry, everything will be good. They used to nod, and I was feeling thankful to God that I was getting that hope of success for me.
But you said when you were listing, I mean, not listing is the wrong word. I heard that when you were visualizing your life experiences, good, bad, and ugly, up to the time that you are lying in bed for 3 months, and you are learning from both the bad and the good and the ugly, and
Yes.
you start. So, do you actually make a list in your head?
In my head,
What kind
yes.
of words were there in that list?
I started challenging my own self. Let's see what happens. Worst, what can go wrong? Worst, I will fall down. I might have a broken leg or the stitches coming out. Let me see. And yes, this hope of success was so strong in me that there was an officer. I never said this in such kind of forum, Smita. There was another officer who had lost his leg, but he was an old timer. It was much earlier than me. So when he was sleeping, I used to try his prosthetics on my leg, which is not possible because
Oh, because
his
your
size,
legs are shaped
my
differently.
legs are different, his legs are different. But look at that level of eagerness, or that impatience level, that the level of hope that no, I want to walk as soon as I can. The day I got my limb, of course, I started walking. It was bleeding. The excitement actually took over my pain. I could not feel that. I did not have that sense of pain. And I walked for the entire day. So the officer who was next to my bed in the ward, he was getting discharged from the hospital that day. So he took me for a lunch. And when he came back, we went to that restaurant walking. And I came back walking. And after I came to my ward, then he said, "Oh, Didi, you walking with me all this time? You walking?" I said, "Yes, sir, I was walking with you." Even he could not visualize
And
that
and that was
I
the
have crutches.
motivation was the motivation to walk was more
Yes,
important to you than the pain that you knew you would suffer.
yes,
So
yes,
here we are now, Didi. I want to wrap all these ideas of so many things that you've shared with us. And because when the listeners are hearing your remarkable story and where we've been transported to that land in that little pathway between two countries that
yes,
are enemies, and you're falling in an IED, we can visualize all that. Most of us will not have that experience,
yes,
hopefully. Most of us are not working in the army, and we're just getting on with our lives in different parts of the world. But to me, you have given us many life lessons that are not connected to the army. Could you suggest to us what kind of learning can we take away from your life experience?
Yes. The experience I gathered is first thing and foremost thing. During your tough times, remember about your good times. And it only takes a thought to go there in your past when you had your say when you got good grades, when you were
Anything,
given
anything good.
anything. So when I thought in that same journey, what I was narrating to you, Smita, when I went to my younger days,
Yeah.
the positive things what happened to me brought a smile on my face. The moment you have a smile on your face, half your worries are gone. So remember good times during your bad
Bad
times.
times. Okay.
Then second part what I learned was always challenge your thought process. The reason, I'll tell you the reason. Our brain is a blindfolded driver. It does not work on its own till you give the command. But the moment you stop giving the command, then it is a blindfolded driver. It will go and crash somewhere else and make your life chaotic. So I started giving command to my brain rather than the brain telling you. I told that I'm the driver of my own car. So I started challenging that where is it written I cannot do it. I will do it. Where is it written I cannot do it? So I used to cross question my own self and I used to find the own answer for my own self. So it was like, where is it written I cannot fly? And the answer was no, you cannot, it's nowhere written that you cannot fly. So I went and did paragliding and so many things. Then third was whenever you're faced with adversities, many times I was stuck mid-air and falling like a dead stone many times. I used to say, so what? That so what
Oh, yeah.
gives you the hope of success over fear of failure.
Hold on. I don't understand the so what.
I'll tell you. I lost my job. So what? Find it again.
Ah,
I got lesser grade this year. So what? Study hard
for the next time.
next time. My business
Ah,
came down. So
that is
what?
your so what. That's your
Yes.
mantra. So what? Okay, I understand.
Yes. So I'm falling down. So what? Let me give it a try. So instead of giving meaning to my negative thought that I'm falling down, I will be hit to a power line or a tree there. I did not want to get over there. So I said, so what? Let me give it a try. And giving a try midair, to your paraglider, it suddenly opens up and you are again airborne and you take that sigh of relief that, ha. So what actually is life saving and it helps you to come over lot of fears. Lastly, for everybody, your audiences, is do lot of adventure activities. It may need not be physical. Adventure activity means get out of comfort zone. It can be cycling, it can be trekking, it can be swimming, it can be anything. This will make you a strong person
Come
to
out of your
take.
comfort zone, is what you're saying.
Yes, come out of the comfort zone and do what is suitable to you, running a marathon or something like that, because any physical activity what you do, learning something new, will make you a very good decision maker.
So it has to be a physical activity, is what you're saying.
Physical activity, because it's all connected to your brain. The moment you sweat things out, of course it is not just body, the message goes to your brain, and brain gets tamed. It understands that you are a no nonsense person, you will not sit quietly in a comfort zone. So I trained my mind in such a manner that I'm able to take quick decisions whether to go left or right. I will come to conclusion within seconds whether to buy red blue shirt or a white shirt. I will come to a decision in fraction of second. This
Oh,
is
that
very
is
common.
wonderful. I suspect what the listeners might do is hear your podcast and play it a second time and a third time. And as we listen, we get more and more from it. But you've given us four excellent points for all of us to think about. And I'm going to leave it there. Didi, you were wonderful. Colonel Dharamdatt Goel,
Thank you, Smita.
absolutely inspirational. And I really, really enjoyed hearing your stories seldom told.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. I thoroughly enjoyed your company. Hope to see you next time. Hope to see you very soon.
I look forward to that. Thank you for listening. This episode has been produced by Naisargi Karnam. As always, if you like this episode, please share. Sharing is the best form of praise and support. I am Smitha Tharoor, and this is Stories Seldom Told.